things change, they always stay the same. As we're now on campus looking around, like we promised we'd give you different sites of McNeese. We're inside the Navarre Performance Center this time. But what happens? Well, the guy in the chair next to me just drives up and parks wherever he wants, no matter what's going on. Everybody else gets kicked out of there, but you get to park right there. Matt Fontenot, Jim Gazzolo, this is Polk Nation, and apparently it's your world now.
I mean,
Park right there?
What's wrong with that?
I say nothing, but apparently other people have had problems with it in the past. But
Yeah.
and I love the way you handled it. I'll make a phone call.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Sounds very familiar. I'll make a phone call. It must be the chair. It must be the chair. All right, so here we are in the Navarre Performance Center.
Beautiful
Part of our
building.
next week, we're going to New Student Union. We're going to talk to Wes Piersall, who's in charge of the conditioning of the Cowboys and strength. But what is so special about this place is you guys got it after the hurricane.
Yep.
When you were just starting to rebuild.
Yep.
So it was an investment before there was a lot of other investments here.
It was, yeah. This has been, I think, one of the most impactful investments that we've made, because it obviously, football uses this heavily, but it touches every student athlete on our campus. So
a huge recruiting tool
and an enormous recruiting tool. I mean, there was, again, with the amount of racks that we have and just the color and the pop of them, I think. Again, from a recruit's perspective, is fantastic. And then the parents love the nutrition aspect, because they know their either son or daughter will be taken care of.
Have an opportunity to eat well.
That's right. Whether they do it or not.
So they do it or not, there's
that.
always some cookies in my rooms, obviously. But
Yeah.
but one of the things that this looked like beforehand, this looked like a normal college weight room. I thought.
It did, yeah.
Now it is a place where you don't mind coming to.
That's right. That's right. And I don't even know if I'd call it a college weight room. At the time, it was what was normal, I would say, back in 2010. But in the years following that, everybody's kind of tried to keep up with each other and make it look nicer and nicer. So this gets us up to with the Joneses, and maybe even puts us ahead for sure at our level. At our level for sure. So and we obviously wanted to make some changes acoustically and make it to be a space where, as you're in here working out, you can kind of get the energy flowing as well. So a lot of new technology in here that Coach will talk about here in a second as well.
Yeah, so it's just a part of, and what we're going to hope to show you this year is a part of kind of the rebirth of the campus. I guess I would say, more than from the hurricanes and that, but more than anything else, it really shows the investment.
Yep.
You have Navarre's name here, Navarre's name on the stadium, Navarre's name on every jersey now.
That's right.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit. We got into that a little bit last week, but the decision to go with Navarre for all of them.
Yeah.
Does that preempt anything else, or is there other ones you can still do? Because there's been talk about a 2 on every jersey.
Yeah, so you can have 2 on every jersey, plus your actual, the Under Armour for us, or Nike for other schools.
So that's not one of them.
That's not one of them.
Okay.
Nope. And the Southland Conference patch is not one of them as well. So technically, we'll end up with 4 total, but 2 can be sponsorship related. So there's still options out there for a second, and we've got some pitches out there and some proposals out there, but we're being very selective with what that is. Just
and you want it to
we
go
only got
with
one more,
and you want it to go with the jersey.
Correct.
You don't want it to be stand out or anything.
Correct.
But another thing is that we talked about in the past, and that is you have the limits for basketball on the court.
Yep.
What can you do in football? Can you do football?
You can do football. Opposite of the SLC logo in each corner, you can do those.
Okay.
So that's another option as well as we move forward with some of these proposals.
So baseball, you can do them all. Can you do baseball yet?
You can on the wings, which we have Visit Lake Charles on the wings currently. Nobody's really went as far as putting anything on the actual playing surface. You'll see behind the pitcher's mound from that center field camera. You'll catch that sometimes.
Yeah.
So we may dabble with that.
And you got with baseball and softball, you have the outfield fences ringed with them.
Absolutely.
So that will stay, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So before we get into a lot of other things, I got to ask you about the 5 for 5 now ruling coming down. Have you gotten a lot of phone calls from kids that say, "Hey, I got a 50 here"?
Lord have mercy, yes. I mean, the coaches, for one, obviously they're all fired up about it, and I think ruling, just like everything else in the NCAA, is a very, I don't know if I'd take that to the bank just yet. The way that was passed down was through the court case, through the injunction. The tricky one with this one is there's no restitution associated with this one, where some of the other court orders that were passed down, there was restitution involved. So now that it kind of puts the pressure on a coach, and to know, like, if the NCAA ever does come back and this changes, and you played a kid with the expectation that he was going to be eligible, but now he's not eligible, now you have to forfeit the games that kid played in. So I think we're going to tread lightly on what that is. But obviously, look, all sports are chomping at the bit to try to get some of these guys back.
Oh yeah,
football specifically, they're already chomping at the bit to get them back.
Well, football's the tough one.
You still have roster limits and stuff. Yeah. So okay, you're going to bring this kid back who's got a 5th year now, but you're already at your roster cap, so somebody's going to get cut loose. It changes a lot for the landscape.
And also, when it comes to now is football, this will be pretty much determined by softball, baseball season.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But by football season, that's where you're going to see somebody lose some games, because that's weeks away, and there won't be a decision then.
They have to. I mean, the
NCAA has to.
The big boys aren't going to let it go on for too much longer. They're going to need some
and they're going to want their guys.
That's right. They're going to need some clarity. And we always laugh. I think basketball coaches know what's going to happen. They
always do.
They always do.
They always do. When we come back, Wes Piersall will be our guest from the Navarre Performance Center.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
Hi, I'm Joe Zanko, President and CEO of Catalyst Bank. Today, 2 strong South Louisiana community banks are coming together with one shared purpose: to fuel the growth of local businesses and improve lives throughout our region. Together, we'll combine the local service and relationships you've come to expect with enhanced banking services, innovative technology, and new tools designed to make banking even more convenient. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Advantage Plumbing, your trusted local plumber right here in Lake Charles. Our dedicated team is here to tackle all your plumbing needs, from emergency services to routine maintenance. Our qualified technicians use the latest cutting-edge tools to eliminate your problem at the source. That means peace of mind that your job will be done right. If you want a plumbing service that you can rely on, book your service appointment today and we'll let you focus on what's important.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
One of the impressive things about the Cowboys this year is how much bigger, stronger, and faster they are going into camp. One man for that is Wes Piersall, the strength and conditioning. What is your title? Strength and conditioning coach?
Director of Sports Performance.
Director of Sports Performance. And you didn't build this, but this is a pretty nice lab to work in.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I guess the first question from us is, where'd you come from, and how much work did you have to put in to kind of catch everything up?
Yeah, so I've kind of been around a lot. The last 2 years, I've been the director of strength and conditioning at Southeast Missouri. Before that, I was the associate director at Texas A&M for 2 years. Then spent some time as a head guy at Louisiana Monroe, head strength coach at UT Martin. Spent some time at Florida State, LSU. So it's kind of got here in January and hit the ground running.
Now, a lot of strength and conditioning coaches during games are the get-back coach. Are you the get-back coach?
I don't know. I've never been with this staff, so we'll kind of figure out. Our first scrimmage is Saturday, and I know Coach will want to make it real game-like, so I'll get a better feel for how our staff is on the sideline on Saturday.
It's a very important role, by the way.
Well, in this case, Coach Viator's pretty laid back on the sides.
Yeah.
But you might have some other guys you got to worry about.
That's right.
So that's one thing to always worry about is the head coach isn't the problem here probably. In this one, it might be some of the coordinators.
I always tell the refs, I don't touch the head coach. That's on you guys to talk to him. I'll get the coordinator and stuff. I'm not talking.
There you go.
Yep.
So what did you notice first when you got here, and what did you work on first?
Well, the big thing was looking at our space. I had never seen the weight room before, so getting in here to a brand new facility, a facility for us at this level, that's extremely, extremely impressive. So we have a lot of room to work with, a lot of technology to work with, which was great. The first thing for me is just kind of getting in and setting the culture, trying to figure out our guys. I've never worked with anybody on the staff before, so it's getting with our OC, trying to figure out his vision, his identity for our offense. Same thing with Coach Peck and our defense, and just trying to figure out what it is they want, what they want to run, our scheme, and then from there kind of building and giving the guys that they want to fit what they need.
So you mentioned you bounce around some other places, obviously some bigger schools, and then SEMO would be something similar to us maybe. But how does this compare to, I guess, maybe some of those other places from a functionality and from the weight room?
Yeah, from the functionality standpoint, it's one of the better places I've been. Obviously, being in the SEC, we've got large rooms and things like that. But for this level and being at other schools and seeing it, it's one of the best facilities I've seen for us. And then our backing with just the nutrition center behind us over here, it's a lot of help for us, our athletes. So the resources here have been a surprise to me. I didn't know we would have that kind of backing. So it makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah. Very impressive, Matt, that you knew SEMO.
SEMO.
Cape Girardeau.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
impressive. That's impressive.
Everybody knows that.
Oh, really?
I would think.
Only somebody that went to Nemo.
Well, true. Well, you also mentioned, getting with the coordinators and kind of, I guess, tailoring what you're going to do to what their needs are. So walk us through that process. How do you have, how can you directly impact, I guess, their players for what they're looking for out of the offense?
Everyone is different. Some guys want to run a hurry up, and if you want to run a hurry up offense, you got to understand that you got to be in really, really great shape to do that. So understanding that scheme, understanding how we want these big guys to look is the number one thing for me. Looking at the O-line, D-line, right? Some of those heavier guys. How do we want those guys to look? How do we want them to move? And then from there, we brought in a lot of new guys that I was not here for the recruiting process on. So getting those guys in here, getting them accustomed, the hard part for a lot of the guys here is I'm their third strength coach in a year.
Yeah.
And so we're with these guys a lot. It's tough to hear a new message. So it's tough to also kind of adapt to a completely new kind of style of training. So it takes a little bit. I always say spring's our time to really set us up for summer, right? Summer is our big time. So getting in the spring, we're very general, just trying to get the guys used to me, used to what we're doing, the tempo of which we're doing stuff, to really set us up for summertime.
Coach V said that one of the things about this year's team is it looks like a football team more. They really felt that they had to put on muscle and put on stamina because they kind of wore down last year. Now there's more kids this year in the program, but how important was that, and how much important was it for him to tell you what he wanted?
Yeah, it's everything. Like I said, I thought we were a little too big in some areas that we needed to get down on, and probably too small in others. So again, you get in here in January, you kind of get the feel for the guys, who needs what, and then you just start attacking it day by day. So I thought, and in spring we did a pretty good job, but by the end of summer, I thought, okay, we have a team that can win a championship. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we have the bodies, we have the depth, we have the numbers to where you can go out there and compete. And so I think that's the most important thing, is that, I can give our coaching staff the guys they feel like they can go win with, right? That is my job, is to give the guys they believe that are going to set them up for the most success. So I feel like we did a good job of that by the time we got to the end of summer.
How do you maybe track that? You talk about, some guys that maybe are bigger than they should be, and just for the casual fans, obviously you said you had some technology and stuff when you got in here, but maybe not necessarily getting into the weeds, but how do you take a guy who, hey, they need to be down 10 pounds come August 1st or whatever that looks like? How do you
one of the things that helps is we're doing DEXA scans on the guys just to understand their fat-free mass, how much muscle they have. And so, understanding where guys have been other places I've been and won. So looking at that, seeing guys that we've had some guys go from 340 to 305, in that 7th-month period. And so some of it was a little bit easier for me to know. They were just too big. We needed to get down a little bit.
Just look at them.
Yeah, just looking at them. Also watching stuff from last year, being able to see film and things like that and understand, okay, we weren't staying as healthy as we probably should. And so I looked at weight as a big factor in that. And that's everything, right? The kids are feeling better, they're moving better. To me, that's 99% of the battle right there. And so I feel like right now our kids are in a pretty good spot mentally. Just they feel good, and that's so important to me.
How do you go ahead?
No,
sorry.
I was gonna. Is most of the lifting done now for build up? Are you in season mode now, or do you still have a couple of weeks you can build up?
No, right now it's kind of just the ultimate maintenance mode. When you're in camp, it's just guys are going to be different daily. This guy's practice a little bit harder on him than that one. Luckily, we have GPS units that we're using when they're out at practice, so we're able to monitor what's going on, how hard each practice is, getting the practice layout from coach for the week, and knowing what's going to be our big grind day, a little bit easier every day, but. Camp is truly maintenance. We get them in here for about 35, 40 minutes as opposed to we're in the summertime, it's a 2-hour lift. So it's a little bit different when we're in camp. We're really just trying to, everyone's individualized. We're just trying to kind of get guys through and get the best lift possible for that day.
So that'd be a big, again, talking about now more technology and those things. What exactly do you guys track throughout maybe a practice or a week for different guys?
Yeah, so the main things we're tracking is overall load, the volume in which these guys are working, right? And so when we're in summertime, we're tracking this to make sure that they're prepared. So I take stuff from all the other schools I've been and kind of look at, this is where they're going to have to get to and be. So we're looking at throughout a whole week and seeing, last week was our first full week and seeing, who's an outlier, who's getting too many reps, who's maybe not getting enough, because there's guys who aren't getting enough exposure. So I'll send the coaches a daily list of who got the right amount of exposure, who we need to watch, maybe who got too many reps and who didn't get enough. So we're able to track effort. That's the most important thing to me. We're able to see who's giving effort, who's not giving effort. And if they're not, let's figure out why. Are they tired? Are they beat up? Are they not practicing hard enough? And are they, it sounds crazy, but are they actually giving too much? Or are they doing too much where we need to watch and get ahead of that? So, it just allows us to be smart on a daily basis to figure out what's going on. Now, there is an element of, sometimes numbers are numbers, right? The game is tough, and we got to be able to grind them down. And once we get to Saturday, after being 5 days, there's not too many numbers that aren't going to be crazy, right? We got to go out there, we got to compete and figure out how to win. So, again, it just allows us to kind of, really make adjustments in here, but kind of get to the coaches and kind of let them know what we're seeing on a daily basis.
When we come back on Polk Nation, we'll have more with the strength and conditioning coordinator of McNeese after this.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinand. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinand Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
Hi, I'm Joe Zanko, President and CEO of Catalyst Bank. Today, two strong South Louisiana community banks are coming together with one shared purpose: to fuel the growth of local businesses and improve lives throughout our region. Together, we'll combine the local service and relationships you've come to expect with enhanced banking services, innovative technology, and new tools designed to make banking even more convenient. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Advantage Plumbing, your trusted local plumber right here in Lake Charles. Our dedicated team is here to tackle all your plumbing needs, from emergency services to routine maintenance. Our qualified technicians use the latest cutting-edge tools to eliminate your problem at the source. That means peace of mind that your job will be done right. If you want a plumbing service that you can rely on, book your service appointment today and we'll let you focus on what's important.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
We're back with Wes Piersall, and one of the things is you've got different things going on. You have freshmen coming in that have never really been in a system or anything like this, but you have also players that you're getting ready for a season. How does that do you have to tailor-made things for certain people within groups?
Yeah, when we first start, the freshmen are their complete own group by themselves, just so we can really assess them. Some have been in the weight room, some haven't at all. I don't know any of them, so we got to get them with their own group and be really scaled back. I always say the ones that can handle more, we'll try to push them a little bit more and get them going because, we're going to play freshmen. We don't know. I've never been a place that hasn't played freshmen. I remember my second or third year at A&M, we ended up playing 18, 19 freshmen. So that really changed my mindset of, okay, we really can't take the whole summer and just kind of spoon feed them. We got to give them a little bit of time, then we got to get going. And then everywhere else, they've been through the spring with me, so there is no excuse. They kind of know what I'm expecting, how we want to move the tempo, which we move. It's really just the freshmen that we have to kind of reintroduce everything to kind of how we want it.
So I want to go back to, you talked a little bit in the last segment about tracking effort, right? I guess, how do you specifically track effort, and then how do you use that to maybe look at the long game of the season, right? Obviously, we're talking about fall camp, but as you move into the regular season, how do we make sure that at week 10 they look like they do at week 1?
Yeah, so it's what we call like high intensity efforts, efforts that are above 75% of their max speed or 90%. So we know there's a certain number they should hit per week. And so we'll take each practice and kind of break it down, and we're able to see individualized reps, segments of each period that we're in, and knowing, okay, is this guy hitting too many? Is he hitting the right amount? Is he not hitting enough? And then we're able to just get to the coaches and kind of explain what we're seeing. So again, we call it red light, green light, or red. Or know that, okay, he's not getting enough, he's getting too many, or he's right where he needs to be. So it's just a daily thing of kind of going in and out of it. There is no perfect science to it. Some guys can handle more, some guys are a little bit less. So if guys are staying healthy and they're able to keep going, then we know, all right, let's keep pushing them, we're good.
The big thing here, obviously, and everywhere else, is keeping people healthy.
Yep.
How do you know when to back off? Is that part of knowing when to back off and when to push?
Yeah, like I said, numbers aren't everything, but they'll tell you something, right? And so we'll look at things, and if we're seeing any kind of trends of guys getting slower and workloads going up, that usually isn't good. If our guys keep getting slower and slower, then they're probably being overworked. But there's also an element of camp is supposed to be hard. It's just supposed to be hard. So maybe it's more on an individual basis, as a team basis, that you see it, but for the most part, we're going to make some adjustments here or there, I believe, but camp needs to be hard. It just needs to be hard. We got to set the standard of what we want, of making sure that 5 and 7 doesn't happen again. And, like I said, you got to be able to do hard things in order to make that happen.
Will be one thing that the fans would expect to see out of this group now that you've had them for 8 months, just going into the season, personality-wise or work effort? Or
Yeah, I think you're going to see a team that's extremely disciplined and in great shape, which I'm proud of that. I think we have a great group of guys that just love to be coached hard. So the discipline part's everything to me. Whether we're in here disciplined on time, wearing the right stuff, out there. And I think we have a really good team that's just very, very disciplined.
Awesome.
One thing about this building, especially that is really new, is the nutrition part. Combining that, making sure they eat right, making sure they get all the. How important is that part of the room?
Yeah, it's everything. I always say there's 3 pieces really to the pie of sleep, training, and eating. I cannot control how much these guys sleep. They're never going to sleep enough. So I try to control the other 2 that we're going to train, and we have to be able to eat. And so this back here has been everything for us. Just being able to have food around for these guys is everything. Quick snacks, stuff that they can come in here, get at any time, along with our CAF across campus. It's everything. Like I said, we can't get guys down in weight without good food. We can't get guys up in weight without good food. So this has been a huge development for us, and it's helped us tremendously.
What else about this room is kind of special on the FCS level that you've seen?
With all of our racks, we're outfitted with what we call Tendo units, which is like probably the best unit that you can have for tracking velocity-based movements. Very expensive unit, and so to have that on every single rack here, where we're able to track everything that our guys are doing at any moment, is a big deal for us. And so to have that at this level is huge. To have the space that we have, the amount of equipment that we have in here, I'm able to do anything that I need to do in here. The same program I was able to write, at Texas A&M, I'm able to write here because of the equipment that we have in space. So it means a lot to me, and it's great for our athletes.
Awesome. When we come back, we're going to Matt's final words on Poke Nation.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
We're back with Polk Nation, Matt Fontenot, Jim Gazzolo. Last segment, got to ask you about the Bill and Will show. Tickets?
Tickets are going well. They went
There are
online.
some left?
There are a few left. So as of this morning, we had roughly a little over 1,000 tickets left. So out of our arena, for it to be August 3rd or August 5th, whatever it is, 2 months from the game,
Yeah,
and we're
2
talking
months.
about we got about 1,000 tickets left. That's a good problem to have. So if you haven't got your tickets, I would suggest you go get them now.
You got to save me a ticket.
We'll save
What
you a
does what does the ticket sales look like early for football?
They're going great. They really are going
You said the
great.
suites are gone, right?
The suites are gone. Tailgating, again, we've got 2 or 3 left. Champions Club's going really well with renewals there. So we're on track to do it and have another good year.
So we touched on a little bit about the 5 for 5 thing and the kids coming back in and that. Coaches probably had a list of kids thinking this
Absolutely.
might happen that
Oh, yeah.
I'd want to bring back.
Yep.
Have you heard from all your coaches?
Just about every coach has reached out.
Because I've already got a
weekend.
list of names.
Yep.
So I wonder.
Yep.
The interesting thing about this is you guys have had to do all this on a fly. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's no precedent to all
Nope.
this.
Nope.
But most of these kids have graduated.
Yep.
So they would be coming in as graduate students.
Grad students, they'd have to start a degree because they still would have to meet eligibility
Yeah.
requirements. So they'd have to start a second degree. But it's not. Yeah, we do it on the fly, and again, there's, like we said already, there's some risk involved, specifically with the way that they outline this ruling. So it'll be telling how the next couple of days and weeks unfold.
Now the Southern Conference today, this is Monday, did release a preseason football poll.
I saw that. Yeah.
Ironically, it looked very similar to something I saw 2 weeks ago that was released, but we won't say that. But do you like them in general? Because you guys went a little overboard with soccer and some other sports. Now you're going to release everybody. Yeah. But do you like them as a coach? Did you like them?
The polls?
Yeah.
I like them. It gives you locker room talk. Whether it's good or bad, it gives you something to talk about. If you get preseason polled really, really high, it's an opportunity to come in and talk about humility and working hard and those sorts of things. If you preseason are pretty low, it gives you
a reason to put it on the board.
Get you bulletin board material. So I don't mind them. And from a fan's perspective, I think it gives you something to talk about.
So football. I haven't asked you this. Football ticket sales, not the ticket sales, but the dinner sales.
Yes, dinner sales. So
are they still available?
They are still available. We have roughly 15 tables left. So again, we're a couple weeks away from that. The Ed O is committed to be here, and it's going to put on a great show like he always does. He'll find a way to make it entertaining, I'm sure.
Oh, he'll be entertaining.
Definitely entertaining.
He'll be entertaining, and it's interesting to see. Not a lot of people know it's not just a connection with his son. He has connections here himself.
That's right. He's a graduate assistant here. Yeah.
We'd be remiss in not mentioning the fact that the passing of Levi Wyatt, a former football player here at McNeese, an all-conference player, a defensive back who passed away this year in a tragic car accident in Mississippi. Obviously, one of the things that this team probably struggled with the last couple of days. But those are things that you guys have to deal with all the time, isn't it?
It is, and it's tough. There's obviously probably former athletes out there that's passed away that we haven't recognized, but one that's so close in playing here, and has a ton of connections in this building is obviously tough for the department. So our condolences are to his family and friends.
Next week we'll be with the president of the university, so you're going to have to take over all the questions because I can't ask any questions. I don't know anything. We'll see you next week from the new Student Union on campus on Polk Nation.